After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century, much of Europe experienced political instability and economic decline. Urban centers diminished, formal education became less widespread, and the production of books decreased significantly. During this period, written texts were rare and valuable. The Bible, like all books, had to be copied by hand. There was no printing press, and each manuscript required careful transcription by a scribe. Monastic communities played a central role in preserving written works. Among the most influential was the Benedictine Order, founded in the 6th century by Benedict of Nursia. Benedictine monasteries followed a structured way of life that included prayer, manual labor, and study. Part of their daily work involved copying manuscripts in designated rooms known as Scriptoria. In these Scriptoria, monks transcribed texts by hand using ink and parchment. They copied not only the Bible, but also theological writings, liturgical texts, and works from classical antiquity. The process of copying was slow and required precision. Scribes worked line by line, often reviewing their work to reduce errors. Some manuscripts were decorated with elaborate initials and illustrations, known as illuminations. These manuscripts were stored in monastic libraries, which became centers of learning and preservation during the early medieval period. Over time, networks of monasteries contributed to the transmission of texts across different regions of Europe. Copies of scripture and other works were exchanged, reproduced, and preserved through successive generations. The continuity of these practices ensured that biblical texts remained available despite broader social and political disruptions. By the High Middle Ages, the accumulation of manuscripts in monasteries and emerging cathedral schools supported the gradual revival of learning in Europe. The invention of the printing press in the 15th century later transformed the production of books, allowing for wider and more efficient distribution of the Bible. However, prior to this development, the preservation and transmission of scripture relied primarily on the sustained efforts of monastic scribes working within these religious communities.